you have to integrate it with the rest of your life, you know? So when someone asks you, how are you doing in school? I'm making it. I'm trying to make it.
I'm going.
I'm going.
How's it going? It's going,
It's
man.
going.
It is going.
I'm trying to get it done.
What is up, you guys? It is Jazz. You clicked on the video. You know what this is. Let's not waste any time introducing our guest. I am here with my friend and former UNLV School of Nursing classmate, Jayison. You've probably seen him in some other videos on my channel already, but today we're doing an interview just with him, so I am super excited. So Jayison and I actually had the opportunity to do our psych clinicals together in the last semester of nursing school, and during this time I really got to see him kind of step into his element. I saw that he was really resonating with this area of nursing. So after graduation, we actually didn't speak for a few months, and after getting back in touch, I was not at all surprised to hear that he had become a psych nurse. And not only is he now a psych nurse, but he is already back in school, y'all. He is back in school to become a psych nurse practitioner back at UNLV already. So, Jayison, to you, I want to say big props because your girl could not be in school again already. That is absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, starting off with that, that's not something that I even thought about. I just wanted to go right in, not give myself a choice, so I can just deal with the stress
and get it over
program.
with.
Just get it over
Push
with.
it through, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Big props to you. And we're going to jump into the questions, but I just want to first say to you, thank you so much for your time today, doing this video, as well as the other videos that you've been a part of. I really appreciate the time and the support of the channel. So
Absolutely, Jay.
All right, Jayison. So I know I kind of gave a little bit of a brief introduction of you, but is there anything else you want to say? Your like little 30-second spiel of who are you? Who is Jayison?
Okay, so first off, Jayison is a psychiatric nurse practitioner student at UNLV. I'm just finishing up my first semester. I've been a nurse for a year. Like you had mentioned, I work in a psychiatric facility dealing with patients ranging from adolescents, starting from 11 years old, all the way to as long as somebody can live.
Okay.
So it's a detox center as well. I've worked at intake there. And then other than that, Jayison is just a human being like everybody else.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. So now I want to start diving into the questions. We're going to start kind of more at the beginning of your nursing journey. So I know I've kind of spoken to you about this multiple times, but can you share with everyone else, how did you come to nursing? Like, what was your journey to begin your path in nursing?
For sure. It was primarily my dad. So my dad currently is a nurse practitioner in the ER. He's been doing that for I think around 15 years now.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. So while I was in high school, middle school, he kind of just drained that into my head. Anything medical field. I mean, he's seen the benefits that the medical field has to offer. It's not a lot of minorities in there. It's not a lot of men in there. And so he saw the opportunity, so he gave it to me. And I like to think of myself as an opportunistic type of individual. So if there's some good stuff going on, I want in on it.
Yeah.
So he had told me about it, and so I had done some research about it. Nursing wasn't the first career that I had wanted to do. It was pharmacist, it was a physical therapist, radiologist. I wanted to be an optometrist, the ophthalmologist. It was all
But kind of all medical related or health field. So you were kind of just bopping around different ideas, but always you kind of knew you wanted to be in the health industry.
100%.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And I think that's beautiful. I like how you also mentioned that there's not enough representation of minorities and males, especially in nursing.
Yeah.
So I think it's just beautiful because not only are you a Black person, but you're a Black man. And I think we're doing better at increasing our diversity in the healthcare field, but I think more so we see a lot more Black women, and we need the Black men as well. Yeah. So I think that's amazing. You kind of already answered one of my next questions, which was, did you always kind of want to be a nurse? But you kind of were bopping all around. But my next question was going to be, how does your dad feel now that you decided to become a nurse practitioner? You had all these different options of what you could do, but you decided to become a nurse. And not only that, you're deciding to further your education, become a nurse practitioner, just like your father. How does that make him feel?
So first off, with the psych thing, it was a little standoffish because if anybody is familiar with the nursing field, psych is kind of a category that not too many people know about, not too many people venture into even starting as a new grad. And that was something that I had did. So it did catch him off guard. Like, okay, because he's an ER.
Yeah.
So, so he's doing all
Very different world.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so the psych thing threw him off guard with him working in the ER. But other than that, I mean, he'll tell me stories of how he's bragging to his coworkers about me in the program. Most of the time, we kind of collide worlds, even though we work in different facilities and we don't see each other. Some of my classmates he works with.
Oh,
So,
wow. That's crazy. Small
Yeah,
world,
it
especially in healthcare. So,
it's a really beautiful thing.
and out in Vegas out here as well. So,
Yeah, no doubt.
that's amazing.
I've had him signing patients and releasing them to my hospital. So it's cool how we can collide and I can follow in his footsteps because I mean he's been a great inspiration. So it's
That's
really
what's
cool.
That's what's up, because I'm sure you looked up to him your whole life, and now it's just, I'm sure it feels so great for him to see like full circle, like, oh my gosh, look at my son, he's following my footsteps. Even though you're not doing an ERNP, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can just imagine how proud he is of you. So that's beautiful. All right, so now we're going to transition more into nursing school questions. I'm going to start asking Jayison some questions about his experience during his first program, which we were both in together. We did the Bachelor of Science in Nursing here at UNLV. We're actually at UNLV right now recording, back to our roots. So here at UNLV, we're in the BSN program together. Jayison, can you tell me, do you remember the moment that you found out that you were accepted into nursing school?
Ooh, I do remember that moment.
Can you describe what that moment was like? Do you remember where you were, how you felt? What was that like?
All of it. It was one of the happiest days of my life. First off, I had got rejected from UNLV 3 times before I had got accepted into the program. So I had a terrible relationship with UNLV at first. They was hating on you, but I was trying my best. But the third time they did reject me, and so I was thinking about other schools and other programs that I would begin to apply to. And then I was at work. I was working as a cashier in one of the casinos down here on the strip. And I had got a phone call, and I don't get too many phone calls. So I'm like, who's this unknown number, 702?
You're like, okay, it's Vegas.
Yeah, it's Vegas.
It's Vegas.
I answer it. What's up? Hello, who's this? This is Jayison. They're like, oh, hi, Jayison. I just wanted to let you know that you've been accepted into the program. And like my heart dropped. I'm like, is this a prank call? Like I was just stoked and just so excited. I called my dad, called some friends, and we just shared that moment because they know how important that was to me and how long I've been trying. So
that is what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. My next question to you is there anything about nursing school that really like surprised you that you didn't really learn until you got into it?
100%. First off, nursing school, it's not just nursing school. It's like life because you're in the program and you have to add that on to whatever else you have going on in life.
Most definitely.
Work, family, any stress you may have, any hobbies that you may have. So that's really the biggest transition is integrating such a rigorous program with rigorous tasks into life already. Because life is fast paced at this time. We got a lot of technologies, a lot of distractions, a lot of things that we're interested in. And so to really have to be able to sit down somewhere for 8 hours and have all, these clinical hours, that was probably the biggest adjustment. And that's probably, I think, one of the most underrated things that people don't see as far as being a nursing student is that you have to integrate it with the rest of your life, So when someone asks you, how are you doing in school? I'm making it. I'm trying to make it.
I'm going. How's it going? It's going, man. It is going.
I'm trying to get it done. That's all.
Next question, a little bit more of a fun one. Can you tell us what was the best part of your nursing school experience?
Ooh, the best part of my nursing school experience. So with me being in the Psych NP program now, it's the same, and that is networking.
Oh, okay.
Meeting people like you, meeting your other classmates. That's something that I didn't think about at all. I'm more of a state of myself kind of person. But me being in the nursing program, you almost have to have a team of people that you can network with and talk to. It's almost like you have to. And so, at least with me, that has allowed me to have opportunities like this. help me improve my own study habits, and just give me somebody to talk to that I can relate to. That's probably a huge thing because you kind of in your own world when you're in nursing school, and communicating with somebody who's in the same world as you. I mean, to me, that did wonders. So I think that's the best thing is networking and meeting people.
So, last question about nursing school. Did you have any struggles during your time in nursing school?
Man, did I? I feel like that's nursing school.
The whole thing is a struggle.
It's
What kind of
always
question is that? It's a struggle the whole time.
always
I guess let me get more specific and say, what was your biggest struggle you faced during your time in nursing school?
Oh yeah, this is good. That's a great question. Probably the biggest struggle would be for me personally. It would be kind of like a battle within myself. Because with nursing school, I had a lot of self doubt. I'm like, is this something that I can I handle this? Can I like man, I gotta get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just had some assignments due, and it just taught me that I can really do anything I put my mind to. But that's was the biggest struggle was the internal battle of overcoming the anxiety, the stresses that I had, the self doubt that I had. But that's where the best things are created. Sometimes is when you're down in the trenches and you struggling and you hustling, and that's where you really get made at. So all that self doubt and anxiety. So if anybody else is dealing with that in nursing school or who's trying to get into nursing school, just know that that struggle, that failure, that doubt, that is the path to where you want to get.
That's beautiful. I love that. Okay, so that wraps up our questions about nursing school during the BSN program. Now I'm going to kind of move into more questions about being a psych nurse. So, Jayison, can you share with us what was kind of your path into psych nursing? When did you realize, okay, I think this is what I want to do? I think I really resonate in this area and it fits for me.
For sure. So I first started, we were in the psych clinicals together, and honestly, we were just doing human stuff. We played basketball with the patients.
It was so fun.
Yeah,
I loved
had a
our psych
blast.
clinical.
I'm like, this is the greatest job in the world.
You're like, I could get paid to do this?
Really?
I could get paid to come hang out with these people and go to the gym. And
Yes, I had a blast. Then we were just talking to him. So that was the first thing that gravitated me towards that was just the connection that I could establish with people. And that's something that I value is establishing rapport with people, seeing what I can learn from them, seeing how they could inspire me, or learning different stories. So that was the first thing. And after I had established connections with these people, and I'm like, man, these are everyday people. I have family members who act like this. I have friends who act like that. I act
undiagnosed.
Like this. Yeah, this is me. Like I felt right at home. Honestly, like I really did. And after that, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely doing psych. And I knew I wanted to go to grad school from the very beginning. And now me being in this psych space, now I'm like, okay, it just gives me opportunity to create my vision of how I want the future of mental health to be.
That's beautiful.
How I can tweak it. Because a lot of the time, some people are in it for different reasons. And with my reasons, I really want to change the way mental health is. And that's something I'm really inspired to do. So I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be.
I can't wait to see you do it, man, because I know you will.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important because we need so much more development and concentration on our mental health field. I think it's absolutely ridiculous because we view mental health as this thing like, oh, only some people have mental health problems. But we all have a mind, right? So mental health is just part of human health. And I think we forget that mental health is a spectrum. It's not either you have a mental health issue or you don't. It's where am I falling on this spectrum today, this hour, this minute, this second. You know what I'm saying? Our mental health is constantly changing. And so I think it's beautiful how you mentioned you're just like them, they're just like us, because that's the truth. So my next question is kind of geared more towards like your patient population. So I'm just wondering, in your facility, what are like the common disorders or conditions that you see in a lot of your patients?
Okay. So I'll start off with the top with geriatric patients. Usually, We'll have some dementia patients sometimes, schizophrenia, um, with the adult population as well. Also mentioned there was a detox center for more drug-related issues or alcohol. And once you transition to the adolescence unit, it's usually depressive issues, behavioral issues is a big component as well. Yeah.
Can you describe for us what your typical workday is like? So when you get to work, you
Yeah.
work night shift, correct?
I am night shift.
So you get to work at what, 7 o'clock or a little before that, but you get to work, start around 7 o'clock. So what is kind of like your workday flow like as a psych nurse?
All right, so 7 o'clock, you come in, I get report. The first thing that I'll do once I'm on the unit is I will be locked in as much as I completely can be, because I had mentioned the physical component with psych, and so that's something that I try to keep my guard on 100% of the time. So right from the very
Very
get-go,
aware.
from the very get-go.
Mhm.
Once I'll get report, then I'll go out there and I'll introduce myself to every one of my patients individually. I want you to see my face. I want you to feel my presence. I want you to know that I'm there all the time, 100% of the time, and especially whenever you need me. I've noticed once I put myself in that position, it decreases a lot of altercations.
Okay.
Anything happens, hey, what's up? It's me, Jayison. Remember, I had just introduced myself. What's up? Come talk to me. And from there, it's a lot more difficult if anybody's feeling some type of way, whether that be with another patient or with staff members. The energy's different when you can talk to somebody that you're familiar with, because then you can see, okay, well, this person, they don't have to be on my team, but I know that they're not against me. Okay. And so that establishes a connection from the very get-go. So
Right.
I'll go out there, I'll introduce myself to each one of my patients, starting off with, my name is Jayison. What's your name? Give a fist pump, on to the next guys. And then from there, I'm primarily a charge nurse. So after I introduce myself to my patients, my med nurse will get the medications going. From there, I'll just primarily hang out with the patients. Typically on the adult unit, I'll just stay in the background, and if there's anybody that wants to talk, if they're going through anything, or if my techs need help with anything, I'll go ahead and show support with them. But with the adolescents, I'll also hang out with them. I'll be more involved with the adolescents. 'Cause
Okay.
typically, most of the time, I can see that the adolescents they just want somebody there.
Right.
I've seen most of the cases where the parents just kind of just dump them there
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and they just want somebody there for them. So
Yeah.
I'll just be involved. If
Yeah.
they see an adult figure there hanging out in the same space as them, that's an invitation, and most of the time they'll take full advantage. I've gotten tons of letters from these kids. I've had kids rap to me, write songs to
That's
me,
beautiful.
poetry, some of the most beautiful things that I've ever experienced. So just being involved is what I'll do. That's a huge goal of mine. And then from there, after medication pass, I'm night shift, so fortunate for me, it's almost bedtime when I get there.
Yep.
So I'd be very excited for that.
So you get a little bit of chill time.
For sure, yeah. Then I'll go ahead and get my charting done. We'll handle some paperwork, and like I
Deal with things as they pop up.
Exactly. Like I said, with psych, it's different. If anything could pop off at any moment,
Right.
type of thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So from there, you kind of just go based on the night.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay, so this is gonna be the last question about being a psych nurse.
Yeah.
What is the biggest lesson that being a psych nurse has taught you so far?
That's such a massive question.
Yeah.
I don't have
You can take a second to think of your answer if you need to.
I don't even have words for that question. But I'll say the first thing that comes to my mind is just being a human. That's primarily what it teaches me, is to be a human. I've had situations where I've just taken a patient in. They've came in, and they'll tell me their story, and I'll resonate with it so much. I'll be like, wow, I'm from the same place as this person. I look like this person. And they're dealing with the same stuff that I'm dealing with. And we're just on two opposite ends. And the only difference is I have a name badge and I'm at work, and this person is, just dealing with what they're dealing with, and we're dealing with the same thing. And so that's the biggest thing, is that it's taught me that we're all human beings. We all deal with the same things. It's just at different levels and at different time periods.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, that translates to everything, and that helps me through my everyday life. Now, if somebody cut me off in traffic, I don't flip you off no more. I'd be like, you're just dealing with something. It's okay.
Maybe I need to be a psych nurse because, man, I be want to throw rocks out my window at people, man. Maybe I need to step into psych nursing for a little bit. But no, that's beautiful, though. I think that's amazing that, entering into a field has completely it sounds like it's almost shifted your mindset and the way you view life. And I think that is just beautiful when we can learn from experiences and grow to be better people because of it. So it seems like that's already happening for you. And you're just a year and some change into this. So just imagine where it's going to go from here.
Yeah, it's the exciting part.
So now we're going to transition into our last area of questions, which is about being a student again. As I mentioned, Jayison is back in school for the Psych Nurse Practitioner Program. So the next question, I'm sure I already know your answer to this question, but I kind of want you to just go into more detail of why. So my question to you is, do you think that nurse practitioner school is harder than BSN nursing school?
I would say BSN is harder.
Really?
I would.
See, I thought it was going to be, and look at me making assumptions. I thought MP school was going to be harder. Yeah. So can you explain your reasoning?
So for me, BSN school, let's see here. For one, ours was during a COVID year. So not that it maybe made it more difficult in terms of coursework, but it was just an unknown. We were learning without having patient interaction, and so it was a twist. So that's one category. The other one was just that these nursing programs are different from anything that I feel like you could ever experience in school. It's different, and so that was the entry into it. So you don't know what's going on. You got all these tasks to do. You have all this work, and grad school. At least I know it's coming now.
Right. That makes sense. So any of you out there that want to go to nurse practitioner school, you heard it here first.
It has its own struggles. It has its own struggles.
I'm sure. But I like the point you made. That makes sense, though, that already having gone through a Bachelor of Science in Nursing program, you kind of know what to expect. Yeah. You got a footing already, so it's not totally new.
The challenges that I will mention with the nurse practitioner program is that being in grad school, what makes it difficult is you're an adult now. So now you have a job. You still got the hobbies you like. You still have the stresses that you had before. You still just have life. You kind of have to just provide for yourself, and so that's what makes it challenging in its own way. Yeah.
All right, you guys. So we have arrived at our final question of this interview. Before I go ahead and ask the last question, I did just once again want to say thank you to you, Jayison, for being here today. I really, really appreciate it.
The privilege and the honor is all mine.
I share the same sentiment. So my last question for Jayison today, which you kind of got into this a little bit earlier about mentioning how you want to kind of change the face of mental health. Oh, yeah. But my final question is, what are your hopes for after you graduate from this program? Like, can you share a little bit with us more your vision, your plan? What are you thinking? Because I know it's huge.
Oh, man. I'll try to put it into words. But every day my brain is just going, trying to find inspiration in everything to try to build off of what I already have here. So after school, once I finish school, I'll plan to work, gain some experience, of course, get my feet wet, get comfortable. And then when the time is right, when I feel good and comfortable, I'm definitely going to open up my own practice. I am venturing ideas between what do I want to start off with as far as either adolescents or adults. Eventually, I plan on having the entire spectrum, whether that be adolescents and adults. But I'll set up my own practice. I am definitely a big component of technology, so I'm going to integrate telehealth, of course, but I plan on taking technology a step further when it comes to mental health and health in general and venturing into virtual reality. So I've been bouncing some ideas off, going to some seminars, seeing how I can integrate and maybe create some programs into how I can can help people virtually. I feel like that's where we're headed as far as technology. I feel like it's a space that hasn't been tapped into so much. And so I want to be the one to go ahead and set the path for that. Like I said, I had mentioned telehealth, and I'll be going back to school. I had told you earlier, I'll be going back to school to get my DNP, try to maximize the education as much as possible. Like I mentioned, I got goals. And so I'm trying to reach for the sky and try to go as further as I possibly can, with the main goal being to inspire a new generation.
That is just amazing. What a great final answer to this interview. Thank you, Jayison. And thank you all for tuning into this video today. I really hope you enjoyed this interview with Jayison. This is kind of a little bit different of a video as part of my Nurses Answer series. And all the previous videos, Jayison as well as a bunch of our other classmates were featured answering one specific question. But I think it would also be very cool to do things like this, where we bring in specific types of nurses and kind of get their perspective on their nursing journey and just the field of nursing in general. That's pretty much all I have for today. Thank you all so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate the support of each and every one of you. You guys don't understand. I really, truly do. So thank you all. Last thing I want to say is just thank you so much, and I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, guys.